Good evening, chat. Hello. Welcome to the show. And oof, God, it gets all the end of the day. Anyways, got it all. Yeah, there we go. We're going to take that off. It's not looking, the tie knot is looking good. Not good right now. So, anyways, welcome to the show, guys. Hi, everybody. Hello. Been a busy day. Busy day. Thank you all for being here. Yeah, so we got some geopolitical stuff to talk about tonight. And yeah, just more things off Venezuela. And are they war crimes? No, they're not. And we're gonna get to why they're not. And we're getting to something really scary: the idea of Trey Gowdy being Attorney General. That is not what I'm looking for. That is not what I am looking for at all. You know, buddy, that is not what we want. That is not what we want tonight. Yeah, it's just not what we want. It's just not what we want. So but let's get started on some stuff here. Yes, Russell Greer is imploding right now. Is very much imploding. I had some discussions with some people today about strategies, and I hope my strategy might be playing out. My strategy might be playing out before our eyes. So we'll see. We'll see about that. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for being here. And holy shit, you guys are crazy. I appreciate the I don't know. Hold on 1 second. All right, guys. The amateur iconoclast gifting 10 subs. I mean, you guys, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. You guys are thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for your support and your generosity. Thank you so much. There is it's weird how they have these in order, but Bibliophile. And it's weird because, yeah, that's StreamYard. You fucked us up. Bibliophile gifting 20 subs. Let's fucking go, chat. Let's go tonight. Like, I mean,
was this story based? Yes.
Absolutely based. Thank you, Bibliophile. With the B-1B Lancer. Bone, as he's known by the flight crews. That's the name for the B-1B. That's what its nickname is. Getting ready to drop some hate. And you know what? Probably will be heavily used in any sort of military action in Venezuela, as they've already been flying across the Caribbean and torquing off the Venezuelan S-400 battery radars. So, yeah, we'll probably see that kind of rolling in there. It's a little sweep wing, supersonic bombing. It should be a fun time. Should be a fun time for the B1s to get some eating in there. But thank you for your support, your generosity. EDW Raptor with 10 subs. My gosh, you guys. Thank you so much for your support and generosity. And then Dashin with the America Dog. Just, America Dog chat. Nothing better than America Dog. I don't know what kind of dog it's meant to be. Or, oh God, if it's a furry, I don't know. Well, as long as we'll just pretend it's a dog. We'll pretend it's a dog. Thank you for support, guys. Remember, when you guys purchase subs, you're making America green again, chat. You are helping make America green again, chat. I'm serious. Make America green again. Keep America green. Get these grays off our streets. No justice, no peace. Gray blood will paint our streets. You heard it here. But anyways, this is what you're doing to the grays in reality. That's warms your heart. Oh, hold on 1 second. Hi, Tim. Welcome to the show. Apparently, I take requests from 2.0 now. So we hit the pre-stream goal. I will be shirtless. I didn't agree to that. Thank you, though. Thank you guys for your support. You guys are crazy. I appreciate all of it. I appreciate it. But like I said, 2.0 said, though, I was doing something, taking care of something, so I appreciate you guys hanging out there. You'll get to bowling for another 50 subs. Gosh. Oh. Yes, we need 30 more subs to give Clyde and Laney a great Christmas. That's right, chat. If you don't give the subs, Clyde and Laney will be eating icicles. Peen-flavored icicles. Oh. Bob Toot says, everybody support the mods, please. Yes, very true. Got to support the mods. Am I stripping? Not tonight, Zero Fox. No. Oh, Rudy Ortiz's mom. Hello. Hello. Thank you for being here. I went outdoors. Says, good evening. Good evening. Zero Fuck says, no Gowdy, please. I mean, are you making fun of Trey Gowdy, or is that a Dark Side Phil stab? Because if it's a Dark Side Phil jab, very well played. If it's a Trey Gowdy thing, like, when making fun of the JD Vance, like, please, did you say thank you? Very good as well. Oh. Yes, no to Gowdy. I agree. Kia Bennett says, I have the same shirt, a different size, but I have it. Well, yes, I'm sure. I'm glad you have it. I'm glad you have it. Also, 4M, good to see you. Libertarian Podcast Review, Tyler. From Libertarian Podcast Review, guys, the best libertarian-based podcast review of libertarian matters. Your place to go. But also the best podcast review of libertarians. It's like the content lasagna. Is it content or is it content? I don't know. Tyler, we need to get in touch, man. Yes, we need to get in touch. We need to chop it up, as the kids say. We need to chop it up. Hold on one second. Okay, Vodka Blood. I was just told you did 10 subs. It's not showing up on the StreamYard thing. I am very sorry. Vodka Blood for 10 subs. Hold on. We'll do it like this. Oh, hold on here. I gotta. There we go. We'll do it like this here. Because you deserve some. Oh no. Oh, chat. I'm frozen out. What happened here? I hate this when it does it. Hold on. Here we go. All right. Sorry about that, Vodka Blood. Don't mean to snub you, but Vodka Blood for 10 subs. Don't want to leave you out, man. Don't want to leave you out. Did I start another stream? No. So check your DM. Sent a while back. Yes, I will. Although I will say the DM thing for Twitter now, it has turned into absolute dog crap. Like absolute garbage. There are people I've been messaging and like they come in like a week later sometimes. So it's just Elon, you ruined it. You ruined it. Bring it, fix it. Fix it, Elon. Please fix it. That's all I need is for you to fix it. But I'll take a look for that, Tyler. I am sorry. Yes, for 10 subs. And then somebody's nephew says, Sean's got the biggest cock I've ever peeked over the stall wall to look at. That's an accolade. It's an accolade. I mean, it's not the accolade I'm looking for, but it is. I appreciate the thought. Cecilia says, I never get the gift sub. Woo-hoo-hoo. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, Vodka. Did you get 10 more Vodka Blood? For 10 more subs. Let's fucking go, chat. Thank you, Vodka Blood. Thank you for doing your part to make chat green again. Also, vodka blood for you.
You are gay, LMAO.
There you go. There you go. All right. ED Raptor, my fellow gay, is looking out. Elon needs to buy AIM, ICQ, or IRC or something. Oh, speaking of things here. Hey, bud. Hey. Dingleberry, come here. Hey. Come here. Clyde. He's like standing around. He's like, hold on, chat. I'm gonna grab him real quick. Here we go. I tried to chase after Clyde, like, Clyde, come here. And he's like, no, fat man. And he started walking away. Oh. Stacy says, I spent my entire Xmas budget already. There is no... Stacy, you have nothing to be sorry about. You're here. Like, that's what matters. I appreciate the thought. And you don't have to feel bad about that. You know, it's... Nothing here is ever required or expected. So, yeah, never... Please never feel that way. Never feel obligated. So. The adipose avalanche was going after Clyde, yes. 100 subs and I would drink eggnog? Well, I don't know about that, man. Oh, no. Eggnog is... Ugh. No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm not eating chicken goo. So, but anyway, Stacy, yeah, please, just thank you for being here. That's all. That's all. That is support in and of itself in an amazing way. You're sewing and listening. Just make sure you don't sew your hands together, because that would be awkward. And then you're going to have to like call 911. You're going to be like, help, my hands are sewn together. What am I, 6? Eggnog is delicious. It's nasty. It is nasty. I will drink warm cider. Like, I'll drink a nice apple cider, but I am not a nogger, sir. I am not a nogger. So, eggnog makes great French toast. I could see that. That makes sense. But I still like making French toast my way. You put a little vanilla in there and all that. So. All right, chat. But anyways, let's get going. Yes. We owed you. It's like film the lament of the detractors. But anyways, let's get to it, chat. We got real stuff to talk about. This is scary, scary, scary shit if this is real. I'm hoping it's not. But oh god, it's I think we're getting to that part in the Trump administration where he was doing really good with his picks overall for a while, and now it's like, anyways, here it is. Trump was recently hanging out with Trey Gowdy. If you guys remember Trey Gowdy, this is him. He was the guy who always, sounded great in the sound bites. It was on Fox News saying, I'm giving them Democrats what's up. And then really he was just bark, bark, bark. He was a little Pomeranian with a microphone. That's all he was. That's all he was. That's the worst pick of him. That's him anyway. Yes. But anyways, that's Trey Gowdy, the former representative out of South Carolina. And it's just, I'm very concerned. And why? Well, apparently he was hanging out. And that's not Lindsey Graham, by the way. That's Trey Gowdy was getting a pardon for his client, Tim Lewicki. who had called Trump the greatest con man and praised Mike Pence on January 6th. Yes. And this came after Trump's indicted the guy for antitrust contract rigging. So, but anyways, it's just, and I'm sorry, it is Lindsey Graham. And yes, just one day after that, Trey Gowdy joined Trump for a round of golf, which, you know, you're going to get a private round of golf with Trump. You're important. And oh my God, I don't want this guy to become attorney general. Like, oh, if you're on the left, like if you're Pisco, if you're Destiny, if you're Vosh, if you're, you know, Kyle Kalinske, if you're insert whoever you want. You guys are doing cartwheels over this. You guys are doing cartwheels over this. Hassan's too stupid to know what's going on. But yes, if you're on the left, you are doing cartwheels over this thought. You are lighting candles and praying to God this happens. Fire Red says, at least Trump didn't pick Mark Levin. Oh, that's almost worse than Trey. That's almost worse than Trey Gowdy. I didn't think you could do worse than Trey Gowdy, but there you go. There you go. You picked worse than Trey Gowdy. Now, like, oh my God. That would have been awful. That would have been awful. Well, says it's the best Trey Gowdy description ever. Yeah. And you know, he looked like he's a Fed. He's a Fed. Patrick says, don't trust anyone whose name is something you eat off of. Well, that is true as well. Although I knew a Trey in school growing up, and he was an okay kid. Pretty cool, pretty solid. So, yeah, Trey Gowdy used to be a federal prosecutor. He was on the FBI files. Yep. He yeah. So is Trey Gowdy pro rigger? I think he's anti rigger. If I had to guess here. What are the odds what Lindsey Graham gave it up to Trey Gowdy? Who's the catcher? I don't know. They probably both walked in the room wanting to catch for each other, and it's like, how does that work? Or Jason Chaffetz. I'd rather have Jason Chaffetz than Trey Gowdy as an attorney general. I would want him, but if you're telling me I have to pick which gun to blow my brains out with, I would rather be the Jason Chaffetz gun versus the Trey Gowdy gun. But if I have to pick one of them, you know, I'll pick one of them. Yeah, Trey Gowdy headed to Benghazi, and look what that got us. So, what about Candace Owens? If Candace Owens became Attorney General, I would start advocating for very glowy activities against the United States government. And not a joking way, in a very, very, very truthful way. So, Graham is a catcher, yeah. Would I rather Trey Gowdy or Mark Garagos? I mean, the problem Mark Garagos is a dingbat liberal, but I would trust his legal capabilities a little bit more than Trey Gowdy's. So, Bob Tube for $2 Australian dues saying, is Bondi actually bad or just constrained by law? Both. She's bad at her job. She's an idiot. But she's also running afoul of the law in areas, and she's got limitations on her, which I'm glad are there. But Pam Bondi has not impressed me at all. Like, Florida could keep her. Although it's funny because my dad's like, I'm glad she's out of... My dad's in Florida. He's like, I'm glad she's gone. And it's just Ron DeSantis now. So, yeah, this is some scary, scary, scary stuff. You think Sidney Powell would be a good choice? Sidney Powell is a tool of her own accord. No. Yeah, Pam Bondi thinks hate speech is a thing. Yes, and she was the attorney general. Well, she wasn't the I think Pam Bondi was the AG in Florida when George Zimmerman got indicted. But yeah, she was part of the reason why George Zimmerman got indicted. And everything happened on him. So yeah, she's part of the reason why Angela Corey did that. I know Owens isn't a lawyer. I was just saying if we had to, like, I think people were just like saying, would you rather? Didn't DeSantis fire her? No, I don't think so. I think he was like Get the fuck out the door. Bye. He's like, change the locks. AG Nick Ricada. I'll pass on that. I'll pass on that. Kay says, fuck, Mary, kill. Pam Bondi can someone Sidney Powell. I'm like, that's what I'm doing. Oh, I'm just going. Ellen Wood, yes. Russell Greer, Trey Gowdy, once again. But this is scary. This is kind of scary. Not looking forward to it. Not looking forward to that news, guys. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. It's not something I am looking forward to. Neither should you. And I hope that I really hope Sean Davis is correct. I like following this guy, Sean Davis, over at the Federalist. It's a great magazine to follow if you guys haven't. He is great. He is great to follow. He's got the, I'm going to cut your balls off look. But he's really great to follow. I follow him a lot. Yeah, he said, I can only assume this is engagement bait slop and no base in reality. Because it's a monumental disaster of vector proportions. Given the fact Trey Gowdy runs interference for the feds, he defended Russia hoaxers, and that's. I'm hoping this is all garbage. I am not. Like, I'm like, please do not be real. Please do not be real. Not be real. Please do not be real. Sar, please don't be real. He looks like a scuffed Boyd Crowder. Yes, there you go. He looks like Aaron. Oh, he's okay. So Hexy says, I hate Trey Gowdy because of shit TV shows on Fox News. I didn't know he has a TV show on Fox News, but I guess somebody had to fill the role after Judge Janine left and, her shit show was gone. Like, I didn't know that, though. I just know, like, my parents used to watch Fox News, but that was like when Tucker was around. But I don't know what they watch now that Tucker's gone. But I can understand your lament here that, I visit my parents, always make sure to inform them how shit he is. Well, yeah, there's nothing wrong with telling everybody how shit the guy is. So that is here. Now, as far as other things are going on, chat, this one kind of gets put into the it's an L for Trump. But this goes right into the you knew it was going to happen. We kind of already knew this was going to happen here. Hey, hold on, guys. Oh, we got a visitor. He I'm sitting here and he puts his paws up like, hi. And I turn and I'm like, okay, buddy. And he's like, nope, I'm good. Wait, we got your Clydes. He's like, thank you so much for the peen money. And he still smells like soap. He does not smell like pee yet, although it's cold outside, so he wouldn't smell like pee. Oh. Connie Desquad says, for 9 months, thank you for being here. Attorney General, eat the Ralph. How about a writ of suffer, bitch? I like that. We're gonna eminent domain that land so I can build a church. Bish. It's like, that would be the best. I would do that. Am I teaching him the Dankula trick? I mean, it's not a trick. How dare you act like that's a trick? It's a way of life. And Don't you worry about him. He already knows what he needs to know. The Rare Laney visit? Well, that's something you have to ask 2.0 for. But maybe not yet. Not yet. I need a rid of Sushi Ferrari, Sean. Sushi Ferrari. Well, Justice Kagan, fuck you, bitch. Oh no. Ralph tries his Mexican lingo, Spanish lingo on Judge Sotomayor. Hola, Justice Sotomayor. Oh my God, that would be so good. Yes, you broke me. Yes, sorry. Sorry, that would be great. Oh. You got a yawn. You might get in a woo. I don't know. He hasn't a woo today, at least around us. So I don't know. Are you gonna woo? He kind of a woos when he's been sitting for a while. Are you okay, buddy? See, he won't even look at the camera. He won't even look at the camera. He's just like, all right, we're just going to keep going here. Yes. Make a Mobas for $5 says Bronca for AG and then get an appointment to SCOTUS. That could work. That could work. So, yes. Justice Sotomayor, where are the tortas at? Oh, so let's keep going, though, guys. Moving on to something that we are addressing here. We talked about this previously. And this gets the National Guard cases with Trump. In California, the courts gave him the court granted the injunction against Trump, and Trump went up to the Ninth Circuit to get it stayed. And remember, it got stayed, and then Trump went to Oregon. And then he tried to get a stay, and the Ninth Circuit on bonk heard it and said no. Well, what happened down in California? Well, the California one was still the stay on the injunction was in effect. California, which means at that point, the court had to hold its trial on the case. And from here, obviously, if the trial court has said, I'm granting an injunction, what do you think they're going to do if they say, I think Trump was wrong for doing this? Well, at that point, we now have, I think it's pretty obvious. Well, the judge in that case ordered Trump to stop using the National Guard. So once it got done with trial, the judge is like, I still think Trump is a Nazi. So this happened. It just came out. Enjoy this free article on us, chat. They're like, they're telling you. Why is it not working? So this came out. We don't need that. We'll get to that in a second. So a federal judge accused Trump of using the National Guard to create a national police force. It's kind of what the FBI already is, but okay. And actually, the way that the Capitol Police have worked out, where they have their little satellite offices all over the country, they kind of already working that way. But anyways, Charles Breyer, and you're like, wait. Is that related to? And yes. Yes, there's a so it is interesting in that regard, because he's Judge Stephen Breyer. Justice Stephen Breyer is his brother, and Stephen Breyer made it to the United States Supreme Court. And when you look at Breyer, you're like, oh, wow, he looks 100% like his brother. And yeah, Judge Charles Breyer looks a lot like his fucking brother. You're like, wow. Which is actually kind of interesting. Yes, it's the brother of the guy they nudged out the window to seat KBJ. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Now, with that said, what actually happened here? Well, the judge said that he's ending the troop deployment to LA. Although at this point, I think things have kind of quieted down. I mean, we haven't seen any more rioting in LA and things like that. A lot of the push in LA seems to have died down. And I wonder if that's part of Trump's thing is like, okay, well, it's the end of the year. It's still an L for the Trump administration. Now, it hasn't gone to the Ninth Circuit yet. I'm sure they're going to appeal it, but we'll see. He delayed his ruling for 5 days to give Trump a chance to appeal, but delivered a fierce rebuke. And this is, though, the founders designed our government be a system of checks and balances. The defendants make clear the only check they want is a blank one. Oh, for fuck's sake. Listen to this as a judge. It's being absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So there's not a whole lot we can do about that. Not a whole lot we can do about that right now. But yes, just listen to this. This is just absolutely garbage. Absolutely garbage. But hey, this ends Trump's ability to use the National Guard in California up in Oregon, although that was already being challenged and Trump can't send the California National Guard to Oregon because now Gavin Newsom gets it back. Yes, the founders didn't design a damn thing that involved district court judges. I agree. I agree. But, yeah. The ruling is a significant victory for Gavin Newsom. I mean, yes, it's a dub is a dub is a dub. Now, is it a dub in the Ninth Circuit? No, but it's still a win. But is it a win at this point now? How many months later? We're like, what? 3.5, 4 months into this, and now it's like, well, it's kind of already done. So, guys, remember, the ruling is just on the preliminary injunctions. It's not a ruling on the merits of the case itself. So, that is just keep it in mind. Just keep it in mind. It's not really a surprise we got to this point. This judge was going to rule this way, but hey, it still is something to keep in mind. It's out there. The Chicago case is now pending before the Supreme Court. And remember that the court asked for some briefing to get done. That has not been addressed yet. We're still waiting. We're still waiting on what's going to happen there. At its peak, there were 4,000 Guard members and 700 Marines deployed. The Marines have been restored to regular duty, and the Guard is down to 300. And the Pentagon has said that the deployment would last into February. And Judge Breyer says it's happening despite the ongoing calm in the city. Guess what happened to make the ongoing calm? 4,700 troops were required to make the calm. And they also had to go round up all the illegals. Yes, imagine that. Imagine what caused all the calm. Like, shocker, I know. So that is where we are. So that is just an update on that. That is just a quick update there, guys. That is just something to keep in mind. And from here, we've got, this is kind of the bigger thing here that came out tonight, guys. I'm not sure if you're aware, but at this time, it is the things in Venezuela are starting to get a little bit out of hand. So here's where we're going to go. And before we get too far into this is a guy I've been following here on Twitter. I follow him a lot. Name's Intel Skizzo. He's a former Navy guy. He's done some stuff He's been involved in things. He's a bit of a Ukraine ball licker, but overall, like, I ignore that part of it because overall he gets some pretty good knowledge and he's able to get he follows some good stuff and posts up and reposts some good things. No, he lives in like Vermont. He's not a Canadian. He's an American. He lives up in Vermont or something like that, up in the mountains. But anyways, Meme Copium. Meme Copium's like a life. Dirty Eric says an IS-1 and ignorant shit. Okay, well. Chat, he's a life. So as these things are going here, he's been, talks about some stuff. This is where I think it's kind of where we need to start looking at what's going on out there. And this is something I found on his feed. There are things getting together in Puerto Rico. The USS Iwo Jima's air wing is staged now in Puerto Rico, and they're at NAS Roosevelt Roads, which, if you guys didn't know this, during the Cold War, Puerto Rico was a hotbed of naval activity for America. If you guys don't remember, Puerto Rico is part of America. So, shocker, I know for a lot of you. But it is very, very, very funny. Hold on here. This is, hold on here. We'll save that for later. Okay, so let's get to this, guys. This is the Caribbean Sea, and this is the theater of operations that we're looking at because here we are. Here is Puerto Rico. Here is Venezuela. Here's Caracas, the capital of Venezuela. Asterisk countries. Zero Fuck says, I thought he was Canadian too. He lives up in the maple syrup area of America. He's in Vermont or something like that, way up that way. Regardless. And remember, you have the barrier islands here that form the edge of things. Now, if you guys weren't sure about the distances we're talking about, just rough measurements from the edge of Puerto Rico to Caracas. No, we don't want to. We're not going to walk. It's 500 miles. That's not very far. Chat. And when you're looking at like why the B-2s could fly to like Barksdale Air Force Base, it's only 2,000 miles. They obviously have to fly around Cuba and all that, but we're not talking about massive distances, really, at the end of the day. We're not talking about massive distances. These are not far. This is not a lot of room to go. It's not a lot of room to travel. And we talked about this before. There's a lot at play here. Venezuela has a lot of oil. Venezuela has boundary disputes with Guyana right here. They have disputes with Brazil all along in this area. And these are Venezuela itself is massively oil rich. It's got a lot of precious minerals. There are rare earth minerals in this area. There are tons of them in this region. And then also you see here, what do we have? Colombia. A lot of drugs coming out of Colombia and Bolivia. And guess what? Venezuela is a door to the Caribbean. You could come up through Cartagena up in Colombia and different places. But Venezuela is a way to get drugs out to Europe. It's also a way to get drugs up onto the island chains into Puerto Rico. Because if you guys aren't aware, Trinidad and Tobago, look how far away they are. They are right there next to each other. So once you can get drugs into Trinidad, you get it moving up to Grenada, up into the Grenadines, into Barbados, St. Lucia, up to Martinique, up to Dominica, up to Guadalupe, up to Montserrat, St. Kitts, St. Martin. It doesn't take much. Very quickly, you get to the Virgin Islands, but more importantly, you get to Puerto Rico. And once you're in Puerto Rico, guess what? You're in America. and you can travel very easily at that point. So Puerto Rico this is a big thing right here. This is a very big thing. Now, when they talk about Puerto Rico was a massive, massive naval installation for the Navy. Because look where it's at. It is a nice little springboard. Number one, you can control the Caribbean. But also from Puerto Rico, I could springboard into the Mid-Atlantic and South Atlantic. I could also just come right up into the North Atlantic. And it allows you to control South America. So one of the biggest places, there was Vieques, which is where we did all the bombing. There's a massive bombing range on Vieques Island. And every once in a while, we used to kill Puerto Rican people because we're like, oops, we dropped a bomb. But the big place you go to is Roosevelt Roads. Roosevelt Roads, it was a significant naval base. It's kind of like Subic Bay. We kind of let it, grind down after a while. But Roosevelt Roads has a look how big this airport used to be. Look at how big this was. This was a naval air station. And look at how, it used to be significant. But look, closed down runways, everything that's going on there. This was a significant place. So just to give you perspective, these guys are only a couple hundred miles from where we're talking about. Kia Patrick says the Dutch side is better than the French side. Yes, of St. Martin. Yes, it is. My parents went to St. Martin for their honeymoon, and my dad said you're driving along on the Dutch side, and all of a sudden you hit the borderline between the French and the Dutch side, and literally the pavement ended, and he thought they were in Haiti. And my dad thought they were going to die, and they almost got killed a couple of times just from the traffic, driving all over the roads. Yeah, St. Martin is a very, very nasty place if you're on the French side. But that's true of most French places. Yes, get to St. Martin, not the other one, yes. Yes, St. Martin, also known as Sean's Island, yes. So. Has Venezuela invested any of their money in the military? To an extent, they have quite a bit of Russian military hardware. They have F-16s from when they were a U.S. before Hugo Chavez took over. But yeah, they have Russian military equipment. They have S-400 missiles, which you can laugh at. There's still enough to swat a plane out of the sky. They have some flankers and they have some Russian military equipment, but they're not super tooled up right now. So, yeah, Roosevelt Roads got bracked in the early 2000s. Interesting. Yeah. Yep. Base realignment and closure. We closed down a lot of our stuff. But yes, on the map. So this just shows you this is what's happening here. Their Abuela training video did not instill confidence. Yeah. So as this is why we're getting this, guys. This is showing you the air wing for the Iwo Jima, the USS Iwo Jima, which is one of the amphibious groups. Their entire air wing is stationed at Roosevelt Roads. And her entire air combat element is operating ashore. Well, what does that mean for these Marine ships and stuff like that? For an LHD, that is 9 F-35s and 6 Harriers. We still have the Harriers, believe it or not, chat, in operation. We haven't gotten rid of all of them yet. So there are 5 AH-1 Vipers, and there's the UH-1 Hueys that they use. The Marines still use the Huey. And yes, these are, the Gator freighters. These haul Marines around. Hauls part of a Marine expeditionary unit around. So generally a battalion's worth of Marines ready to go fuck shit up. But they also have equipment with them. Air support. And they can do the Marine Air Ground Task Force. There's also C-5 and C-17s are on the ramp. And Roosevelt Roads is operating as a primary staging hub. So here are some things that are going on, guys. These are, this is fucking serious. This is getting serious. You can see the C-17 right here hanging out. You can see a C-130 hanging out. And then you see down here, fighters and helicopters. It like this is getting there. This is getting to be real. And from here, there's just this, like I said, guys, this is we're escalating. We are escalating this shit and getting ready. This is a better in-depth view of things. And yes, you can see the Harriers right here. You can see the F-35s are right here, like a better view of them all. And then there's the C-17 and the C-130. Like we're getting there. We're getting there, chat. And that's a lot of strike power. That's a lot of strike power getting sent there. There is a C-5 Galaxy, which is the massive heavy lift airplane. It's hanging out. These things, the helicopters are sitting out on the tarmac, out on the taxiways. Remember, we looked at that picture of Roosevelt Roads. It's got a lot of empty space right now in it. But remember, if we're looking at this old picture, this is where all those planes were, out on the tarmac here. And then we've got different spots where, like, the helicopters might be hanging out. They have an old hangar building. There's a lot of room. There's a massive buildup at Roosevelt Roads right now. And I don't think it's temporary. This is going to be for the long haul. It's going to be for the long haul. And if you guys want the better look of what they're doing here, this is, remember, this is all in Southern Command. These are the areas where they're showing stuff being, things from people are getting off Maxar. And this is only a day old. It's only a day old footage. So things are about to get going there. Meme says, what do they feel the Galaxy? Stop it, sir. Stop it. Oh. Oh my God, you guys are awful. Yeah. Guys are so awful. Oh, Jesus Christ. State says, my husband served on the Gators, the Marine amphibious craft. Yeah, and there are multiple things out there. There is a carrier strike group that is now out there in the Caribbean getting ready. Like, we've got all kinds of stuff out there right now, guys. And this is this is just a taste of what's going on. It's just a taste of what is going on out there. And it's only going from here. It's only going to get bigger. It's only going to be more and more and more. And this leads us to what happened today. As somebody on Twitter put up, yes, the oceans are now battlefields, and it's like you're like, yeah, it's kind of getting that vibe. We're kind of getting that vibe. Yes, the tip is getting very engorged, Meme Copium. And yes, you don't want a Marine Expeditionary Unit on your doorstep. Yeah, and I bet this view is Spec Ops, the Spec Ops capable ones, or however they designate it. Things are now escalating. And what happened today? So what happened today, and this is from Pam Bondi, and this is where it's like, okay, I'm not, we're going to deal with this here. So what is this? So today, Pam Bondi says the FBI, and you might say, well, wait, how is the FBI Homeland Security investigations and the U.S. Coast Guard with support from the DOD executed a seizure warrant for a crude oil tanker used to transport oil from Venezuela and Iran. Remember, we have sanctions against Iran. The whole world has sanctions against Iran. We have sanctions against Venezuela. For multiple years, this oil tanker has been sanctioned by the government due to its involvement in oil shipping supporting foreign terrorist organizations like the Iranian Revolutionary Guards Council and the Quds Force. And this seizure completed off Venezuela was conducted safely and securely alongside the Department of Homeland Security to prevent the transport of sanctioned oil to continue. Now, this here is some footage, chat. There's no sound. But this is the government going out to seizing an oil tanker. And this is, the helicopter coming in. We don't know who these guys are rappelling out. They're not just, if there's some sort of Coast Guard, like it's probably not Coast Guard because they might have been using a Coast Guard chopper, but the Coast Guard has its own like fleet anti-terrorism guys that their own units they use. Chris Costa, the firearms trainer, was a guy from those. This could, I doubt it's HRT because this isn't like a mission. This isn't like a tier 1 critical mission, but it's probably some combination of multiple somewhat high-speed units coming in to take this out. And that's probably a Navy helicopter being involved. But they come in and fast rope on and they seize the boat. And look at him go. Look at him go. Vehicles, boat seizure, the board and seizing. This is kind of dangerous shit. The first Call of Duty tells you check your corners. But yes, the VBSS stuff, the seizing is very, 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 very delicate. So you can see those are the guys running around securing the boat. And they're on a boat, man. It's going fast, and oh, there we go. So that's on they're on a boat, chat. They're on a boat. And just bring out the Coast Guard. Their TAC teams are legit shallow water pirates. Yeah, I agree. Dirty Eric says it's not DevGru. Well, yeah, it wouldn't be DevGru. This is not that hard of a mission. This is way outside. This is like mission set they're not involved in. If that boat was full of charges and terrorists were on it, yeah, they would be involved. But no, like I said, this could be maybe HRT or some sort of FBI organization. I don't know. Could be the Coast Guard guys. We don't really know at this point. Tachyon Black says the footage is garbage. They disabled the HUD so you can't see the control points. Yeah. It's not a 160th bird, of course not. Yeah, it's just a Navy bird. Just a Navy helicopter. Now, what is this boat? Well, we're not 100% sure, but we have some ideas. This is a boat known as the Skipper, and it's supposedly flagged out of Guyana. But that's not 100% clear either. And this raises things and this is at an oil terminal in Venezuela loading up. But what do you do with this? And how, can you just take a boat? And the answer is sometimes yes. Sometimes yes. Guys if you're over in Discord, we'll look at the Michigan stuff tomorrow. I'll cope and seed then. So, I'm not in the mood to cope right now about it. So, we're becoming Somalis. No, we are not actually. Fedra says the question is who's going to tell us we cannot take a boat? Well, there's multiple things here that are going on, and this is where I would go back to Intel Schizo, based on things that he can tell you, and this is actually helpful. He explains a lot here, and one of the biggest things is boarding a foreign flag ship without Security Council authority or the flag state's consent. Remember, the flag state is the state, and that is the flag state is, if this had a flag on the back of it, whose flag is flying here? So if this is a French flagged vessel, the French government can give you permission to seize the boat. Whoever it's flagged under, that's the country you're committing an act of war against. And those that's why you fly flags in your vessels. Now, he does bring up here and explains a little bit. If the flag state doesn't consent, then it's an unlawful use of force and a violation of international law, but it's not automatically an act of war. But for a long time, seizing boats would be. Now, he points out for the skipper, the vessel was seized flying under the flag of Guyana. It's very likely the United States got flag state consent some time ago, which would make the seizure legal. And that's important, chat, because remember, Guyana. Well, where is Guyana? Oh, look, here's Guyana. It's right next to Venezuela. Oh, wow, look at that. Imagine that. They might be friendly to us. And yes, the U.S. military has been involved very much in Guyana, helping. There have been some foreign internal defense missions being done by the U.S. military to help them. The British, Suriname is a British protectorate. They have been involved in, just beefing these guys up. And then French Guiana, well, the French do what they want in French Guiana. It's actually where they launch rockets out of, too. And for a long time, this is where they used to execute people, was out of French Guiana. Kind of gnarly. So, it's not a war crime on sea time. So anyway, yes, they have contested border oil fields. Yes. So, but as we get to this, he's just explaining, the act of boarding a vessel is an act against a flag state, not the owner and not the cargo state. So, for example, if Venezuelan oil is on a Guianese ship that's owned by somebody in Panama, but they're flying the flag of Guyana, Guyana's the only one that matters. All right? So as long as they gave consent, it happens. And we have memorandums of understanding with over 90 countries. And we use the Coast Guard for this purpose. It's kind of a big deal. Here. The bigger issue with this boat, though, is these are ships involved in the, from what he could tell from doing some research here, these are part of the sanction runners that, through shell companies, help trade oil and blend oil to hide Iranian oil and kind of basically launder their oil so they can sell it. So that's what we're doing here. Adele says, isn't Suriname's not a British protectorate? I thought it was. Or I thought it used to be. I thought it was at some point. Oh, it was briefly British thing way back. Okay. So my bad, chat. I thought it was for some reason. Yeah, not a British protectorate. It's a former Dutch colony. Thank you. Seller said, why would Iran want Venezuela's filthy oil? Because now it's like laundering money. When you take the oil and you mix it all together, it's like the proceeds from a money laundering operation. It's all clean money now. And remember who the Dutch West Indies own it. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. But from here, think about it. Who has in Iran wants to sell oil? Hezbollah and the IRGC, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the Iranian military, especially their Quds Force. Remember, we talked about the Quds Force before. They are the special operations arm of the Iranian military. And that is their mandate to go out and do things. They are the ones going out and conducting black ops and other kinds of destabilization operations, bombings, kidnappings, terrorism, direct action. They do advising in foreign internal defense. If you guys have played Call of Duty, I mean, the Quds Force is all over the world, and they are dealt with all the time. The Quds Force. Yeah, according to CTR, the ship is owned by Viktor Artemov, who launders oil for Hezbollah. Yes. Yep. And yeah, you mix the oils together and now you sell it in Gibraltar at a nice price. So, Adam is saying, wait, that's illegal? Well, I mean, if you're under sanctions, yeah, you can't sell oil. So, it is a thing. It is a thing down there, chat. So we just don't know yet what happened there. There's just a lot going on. There's a lot that's happening here where people are like, oh my God, they seized a ship. It's like they can 100% seize the damn ship. It's entirely within their purview to seize the damn ship. And yeah. This is entirely legal, it looks like. And also just remember, we're watching the Ukrainian military strike at the Russian shadow fleet of tankers out in the Black Sea and elsewhere in Europe. So it's not uncommon at this point. It's not uncommon. So that is a well, where are people trying to catch up here with everything people have said so far? Yeah, and here's the other thing too, chat. This is something he brought up, and I think this is a good point here. They're saying that this boat may have had fraudulent registration. And it wasn't actually under the flag of Guyana, which in that case, it's stateless. It's stateless, which actually means then you know, it's not flying under any flag because there's no registration. And if you're not flying under the protection of any flag under the laws of the sea, you have no protection of a flag state. You can lose jurisdiction under that flag state, and you can be boarded by a warship. There are things that if you don't have a flag, that's what happens. If you're flying under a false flag, you get where that. See, that's a term, chat. So it's like a ghost ship, kind of, but it goes back to the days of piracy. If you didn't fly under a ship, if you weren't flying under a flag, they considered you to be a pirate. So, yes, if you don't do this, a stateless vessel could be boarded without consent because there's nobody to go to. Part of the reason why you have that flag is so there are ways countries can work stuff out and brings order to the world. Yes, hence the term a black fleet. Yes. Very true. Very true, Eric. So this is kind of where we are. This is a false flag, like all those rainbows and pastel ones. Yes. Yes, a banner of dubious authenticity. But yes, it really is a thing, guys. It really is a thing. And nobody has to approve it. It's literally just a random boat floating around. It never had nationality. Its immunity collapses, and the seizure is defensible. And nobody can claim sovereignty was violated, and nobody else can claim injuries. So nobody can bitch about it. So the ship is UDP? Baby, we don't know yet. That's just, this guy's bringing up a good point that if they're flying under a bullshit flag, none of it matters anyway. We just don't know. We just don't know yet, and people are freaking out, calling it a war crime already. EDW or Vodka Blood says, I'm so angry at how wrong Sean is. What the fuck? What did I get wrong? But yes, it's very funny if true. Yeah, but that's the risk you take. If you guys watched Lord of War, you remember when they're trying to like paint the name of the boat on the back and they fake, we only have the Dutch flag, but if we fly it sideways, it's the French flag. Yeah, that's an entire thing. So look at my previous comments. Okay, I'm trying to, there's so many comments. Yes, you can board the boat of a no flag. I'm not well read in IRL, but I'm not an idiot. I am a retard. What am I a retard about? I'm going back. Venezuelan oil is super dirty. I meant like laundering purposes. Like, it's tainted oil because it's under sanction. Like, I'm not saying it's not like dirty quality wise. I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to argue with you about that. Just run downfield and act like you're lost. Yes. I did look at your previous comments. I'm sorry. No, it's literally dirty. No, I get what you're saying. Yes, the quality of the oil is garbage. I get that. I'm just trying to tell you the idea is they're mixing it and laundering the authenticity and the origin of the majority of the oil. That's all I was trying to get at. So. It's legally dirty. Yes. All right, guys, we got to catch up on some other things. Lone Star Medic, who's been a member for 11 months, says AG Sean Martin has the in for the office. Well, I mean, I certainly wouldn't turn it down. Malcolm Cohen says, can you imagine AG Attorney General Ralph on a pill stream having a press conference? Mo, that would be awesome. Having Attorney General Matthew LaRossi, Attorney General Fudbusters, I could do that. Keopathic says that Ralph would call, or I think you're saying Bronca, would call the female justice slatternly on the record. That would be funny. Rev Jim says, you have great taste in shirts and we are about the same size. Next time you got stuff for the Goodwill, how about you just mail your secondhand shirts to me? I kind of wear shirts out when I get to them, but yeah, I mean, like, oh, I appreciate the thought, though, Jim. Keopathic says, don't brag about the Harriers. VTOL is cool and all, but we call them North Carolina lawn darts for a reason. Yes. The Harrier fleet is notorious for being dangerous and unstable and crashing, and they're called lawn darts. And most of the Harrier fleet has crashed at some point. It's kind of like Dodge Vipers. You're not going to find a Dodge Viper that isn't a salvage title for the most part. Keopathic says, I did 8 years in the Marine Air Wing, specialized in fixed wing F-18. I didn't know you did F-18. The Harrier guys hated the Harrier. Yes, I've heard that before from people who worked on Harriers. EDW Raptor says, we're about to remind the world why we don't have free healthcare. Yes. Yes, that is very true. That is very true. BobTube for $2 Australian doodles says, Meme Coping still cries about the Rainbow Warrior. Yes. And then Vodka Blood for $20 says, you're retarded if you think that's why we're beefing with the Venezuelans. No, I think I mentioned this before one night, guys. There is a massive thing going on here. I mean, when you see Venezuela and where it's at, it's got the oil, it's got the materials. More importantly, this is like the Monroe Doctrine. This is securing not only Central America, but South America. Because who's coming in? China's coming in this way. And Venezuela is also buddy-buddy with Russia coming from here. And if we can stop that, but also secure U.S. prosperity through oil and also rare minerals, that's what we need to do. And if we could secure it right in our backyard, that's where we're going to do it. There is a massive geopolitical play going on here, guys. And it's not clear how it's going to shake out yet, but I hope it turns in the U.S.'s benefit. But if that's what you were getting at, I fully agree, Vodka Blend. I think I said that before. And then says Don Bongwater gifting 5 subs. Thank you, Don. Thank you for your support, your generosity. And then real quick before I forget, Vodka Blood for $20. Thank you, Vodka Blood. I hope we're kind of on the same page now. I'm retarded, just no. Well, then if I'm wrong, tell me where I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure the Ospreys have killed more people by crashing than the Harrier. Yeah, but for a while, the Harrier can only carry one person. Yes, Florence is right. Yes. Your Honor, the defendant is gay. If you want to know the truth about it. Oh. The USA is the only country in the world that can clean Venezuelan oil. Okay. I will take your word on that. Are we going to get more Puerto Ricos? Well, I mean, I've heard Venezuela is like a nice place to go for the summer or the winter. Yes, staging for the next war coming in the next 5 to 10 years. Yes. The AI and semiconductors are a national security issue versus China as well. Yes. And remember, not only is China a problem there, but we also have to remember one of the more obvious things, and people haven't probably thought about it for a while, but it's the Panama Canal. That is another thing the Chinese have influence over, but resecuring this region is critical. So we don't have to go all the way around South America. Vodka Blood says I'm factually correct. I'm not disagreeing with you, man. I'm not trying to disagree with you. I'm not trying to fight with you, man. It's not 5 to 10, it's 3 years. Yeah, it's going to be very, very quick. And we're going to find out if we have enough VLS canisters to destroy the Chinese Navy. So, Nuck says, didn't we tell Panama to give it back? Yeah, but we haven't gotten it back. So, although allegedly the Panamanians have a little more control over it, but it's still kind of Chinese at this point. It's still got a lot of Chinese influence down there. Brad is saying Venezuelan crude is 5.7 sulfur. Wow, that's a lot. Highest anywhere. Oof. That's some garbage fucking oil. The Ram situation has gotten extra retarded. Well, yeah, on Ram Ranch, I don't know. Okay, guys, so let's see here. Let me see here. I think we're all caught up. Who messaged me here? Let's see. Okay. All right, just making sure there wasn't anything there. Mega Mobile says Vodka's right. We have 1 or 2 refineries in Texas that actually turn Venezuelan crude into useful oil. Okay. Alrighty. Interesting. Let's see. SB Sellers is enough VLS. Guys, VLS means the vertical launch systems, those things on the ship that the Tomahawks and things. Now, hold on. The VLS. The canisters. You see them when you see the pictures of the ships and they got the little. This is the VLS. Hold on, chat. Oh, this is actually a good picture of some VLS. When you see these on boats, these are VLS, vertical launch systems. And this is where like they shoot, like when you watch the videos on CNN where it's like and the Tomahawks go screaming off in the middle of nowhere. You could fit Tomahawks, surface to air missiles, anything in these canisters. And the door goes like boop, and it takes off and it goes. It's kind of cool. They're pretty cool. And then they take them and they take a big old crane and go bloop, and put them back in, reload them. Let's see here. Brian says about 128 gigabytes of DDR5 about 18 months ago. So glad I did. Running 400 Chrome tabs is peak master race. Wow. Wow, that's some Kirsha would literally know that. Can you make an announcement? You're literally factually correct. Yes, Vodka Blood is factually correct, literally. They can't fit my mom in there. Yeah, well. Literal cans of whoop ass. Yes. P-Dub says can't easily reload at sea. They can't reload it at sea. The Navy is able to do it if their ships are anchored in a calm water area, but you cannot underway replenish these. Like as the boats are like going up and down on the ocean and stuff, like when they refuel and share food. No, you can't. These don't work that way. You'll probably kill people doing that. So no, these can only be reloaded in basically at port. So peak autism. Well, yeah. Robin says, I need more VLS. Well, we don't have more. We have to build more. Oh, yeah. Only 400 tabs, says Evan. Oh. So. Let's see here. Mega Mobas. Okay, yeah, actually, you got this. Thank you, Mega Mobas. Covered that. Let's see here. I built my DDR5 rig 3 years ago. Oh, nice. No, Mayo says Aaron put an HRO out on me. Yes. Johan saying we'd have more VLS if we didn't give it all to Ukraine. Well, we haven't given Ukraine any VLS. We've given them Patriot batteries. What VLS did we give them? Because we haven't given them like VLS canisters just to like strap on trucks. I don't know. What do you think we gave them? Oh, they have. From what I read, they have tried to do it, but it just didn't work very well. That was my thought. AT1. But if they have made it work, that's better because all it takes is if I'm the Chinese, you fucking schwack a port facility, and now the ship can't reload. Rapid Dragon. Hold on here. Oh, the missile system? Yeah. Yeah, hold on. We'll do that. Yeah, I'm sorry. We'll do that here real quick. Yes, this is actually kind of neat. It's kind of stuff we figured out here. Where is... So back in the Cold War, the U.S. government tried to figure out if you could launch a intercontinental ballistic missile out the back of a C-141 cargo plane. Well, that has kind of evolved now into doing something called the Rapid Dragon program. And this is something Lockheed Martin has been working on and, just taking advantage of what you have here. But yes.
Palletized munitions enable mobility aircraft to deploy cruise missiles, promising to provide a near-term means to increase capacity of fires. A modular deployment system offers a flexible payload configuration to meet mission requirements, with a 6-pack configuration for C-130 deployment and a 9-pack for C-17s.
And notice, guys, that's just one pallet. You can fit multiple pallets into a plane. But you just roll it off the back and let it just hang and just... all the JASSMs going off on there.
An onboard control module enables the missiles and battle management system to communicate, so missions and targets can be updated while the aircraft is airborne. Palletized munitions are compatible with standard airlift inventory systems. They provide a roll-on, roll-off capability with no aircraft modifications. The Air Force Strategic Development Planning and Experimentation Office, Air Force Futures, and Lockheed Martin are partnering with Air Mobility Command and Air Force Special Operations Command to conduct flight tests. First up are in-flight jettison tests to demonstrate safe deployment from a C-17 and a C-130, followed by live-fire demonstrations for both aircraft, the first by the end of 2021. Palletized munitions are a potential force multiplier that enable combatant commanders to strike from more airfields.
And they have tested it so far, and the testing has gone very well.
And engage more targets, while offering mobility aircraft and crews a rapid transition back to primary mission.
And notice that now I could turn every airplane in the Air Force, not just the bombers and the fighters. I could strap a cruise missile onto them. But think about it. I could strap, how many pallets can I fit into a C-17? Let's say I could fit 5 or 6 pallets. If that's 6 pallets, that's 54 cruise missiles. I could just chuck out the window. So is this a sequel to Double Dragon? No. Anonymous says, what is your current opinion about the power struggle between the U.S. and China? Feels like we're pants on head retarded now. I mean, China wants to solidify its power in Southeast Asia. They want the 9-dash line to be the way of their authority in the world. And I don't think we should let them do it. Like, China thinks this is basically their, this is their world to control. And I don't think we should be allowing them to do that. We should not be allowing China to basically control all this area. The 9-dash line is actually that's not even a good drawing of the 9-dash line. It's actually even worse than that. This is actually it's even worse than that. The 9-dash line is China's basically idea that they control basically like this. They control all of this. And the way they call it the 9-dash line is because famously it was drawn with 9 dashes. Basically like that. Notice like stuff is going on here, like the Straits of Malacca, the busiest shipping corridor in the world right here. There's all kinds of stuff that they want to interfere and get their fingers into. So no, I don't think we're wrong to go after China and treat them the way they are. China's aggressive. Why not 10 dashes? Because they couldn't afford it. They were the team who ran out of dashes. So, yeah, this is Pitchlock saying they'll go back to that. A C5 full of those would be missile bukkake in real life. Yes, it'd be very much like the program where they were taking initially back in like the end of the Cold War of and into the 90s. They were going to strap a bunch of AIM-120 AMRAAMs onto a B-1 bomber and turn it into a dump truck for like 50 or 60 AIM-120s. Yeah, you can do a lot. You can turn some planes into dump trucks full of missiles. So yes, it's 10 dashes and is that a cocktail? Yes. What about the DoorDash line? Well, yes. And ultimately, you're right about you can't trust China.
Donald Trump, don't trust China. China is asshole.
China is asshole. Always asshole. Isn't the 9-dash line in a Disney movie some time ago? I don't know. I don't know if it is. Shredder says, can I get here to start over? Yes. Oh, but yes, China has a lot of irredentism. And the problem is when you look at like the South China Sea, there are different things here, especially, if you go up to here between Japan and China, there are various islands that they think are theirs. They think the Chinese and the Japanese have been fighting over. But when you get to what's going on here in the South China Sea, the Chinese, they think the Paracel Islands they have claim to. They have claim to the Spratly Islands. You guys might say, wow, these aren't really islands. They're not. They're basically a bunch of like shoals and coral reefs and some basic atolls. This is where they're building the artificial islands. this is where they're doing all of that. There's also Scarborough Shoal, different areas outside of the Philippines where they view they are in control of. But all these countries lay claim. Vietnam lays claim to the Paracels and the Spratlys. The Philippines lays claim to the Spratlys. Brunei lays some claim. Indonesia lays some claim. There's a lot of parties involved here. And then obviously you got what's going on in Taiwan. Obviously China says, that's ours. And then there are islands up here in between Japan and China. And guys, if you don't realize, there's not a long way from, China or Nagasaki to Shanghai is under 500 miles. It's under 500 miles. They are very, very close. Very, very close. You need to be slow. I'm not fast. The Ladasha line, yes. Omega Mobas says, I think Aaron from Subbrief said it right today. Well, you're for 1999. Yes, guys, if you watch Subbrief, that's a very good channel. Oh, hold on one second, chat. Hold on, I gotta fix this. There we go. Yes, it won't start directly, but it'll start with countries in the region, not even Taiwan. China's playing a lot of fuck games with Cambodia right now. Well, it's not that China's playing fuck games with Cambodia. China and Cambodia are actually friends. There is a significant naval base down here in there's a Chinese naval. Where the hell is it at? It's down this way. There's a significant Chinese naval. I think it's actually, is it down here? No. I forget where it is, but the Chinese had leased a naval base out of Cambodia. I forget where the hell it's at. But they had a significant one they were working on out of Cambodia. And it gave them that ability to project power down into Singapore and everywhere around it. But that's where. Hold on. Okay, sorry, chat. But this gives them a lot of power, to project and go into areas. But yeah, it's gonna start off a little lower than us having to fight the Chinese, but it'll happen. Dash is saying no real modern combat experience. I mean, the Navy doesn't have modern combat experience. We don't really have any combat experience. Our combat experience is bombing guys on mopeds. We don't really have combat experience either. Wasn't there nuclear testing on those islands in the South China Sea? No. That would be dangerous to test a nuclear weapon on those islands. Oh, sorry. Here, chat. Hold on. So let's see here. They are literally in the Philippines economic exclusion zone. Yeah, but China don't care. China don't care. Meme says, I'm literally an expert on that region. Yes. Fenner saying, let me explain to why the Chinese would have a very rough time training doctrine. let me explain to you why we're going to have a rough time, missile bukkake. Like, it's the Chinese would have a rough time, but the U.S. Navy would suffer significant losses, very likely, in any sort of full-scale conflict. So, you should see how close Irohojima is to Taiwan. Oh yeah, there's a bunch of islands that are right up on Taiwan, and it's even more interesting. There are islands that Taiwan has access to that are like right next to fucking China that are out there too. China has stated they will not allow Japan to rearm. Yeah, Japan's doing it. Japan's rearming, and they already have a ship renamed the Akagi and the Kaga. So Japan's rearming, and Japan is still also, as many suspect, probably within 60 days of building a nuclear bomb at any given time. They just happen to keep all the parts separated because technically it's not a bomb then. Hold on, chat. So, let's see here. Yeah, see that big round island in Kagoshima? I've been camping there twice. It's literally the inspiration for Princess Mononoke. I don't know what that is. So, okay. Well, hold on here. So we're going to Kagoshima. Where the hell is? Oh, you're saying this island right here? Oh, okay. Yeah, never. Interesting. You've been there and they do stuff. You meant more in the sense of global superpowers, but I had no idea what the 9- line was. Oh, I mean, that's what's happening in sense of global superpowers. Is Cambodia versus Thailand going off? I mean, it's kind of going. The Thai military has struck some Cambodian stuff, but it's kind of simmering. But yeah, there's a little. It's still going. It's still going. Yes, Princess Monoxide. The Navy lost to the Houthis last year. I mean, well, yeah, that was an issue too. And yes, we were able to shoot a balloon out of the air. Well, there's that as well. But I think that kind of took advantage of like the just organizational incompetence of the military. Hold on one second, chat. Sorry, chat, I'm back. Dad accent. Katie Buck says Kwajalein Atoll. That's way out in the middle of You're talking. You guys are talking about those atolls like Kwajalein and all of that's like out here, way out past where China is even looking to get their fingers dirty. Like it's way out. You guys are talking about stuff way out here. Like that's not even close to where we're talking about. We're talking about over here. Oh, you're talking about landing here. Well, I'm not worried about landing here. I'm worried about them landing in Taiwan or landing in any of the areas around the 9- line. Japan should be allowed to rearm. Well, they are. They're rearming on their own. They're doing whatever they want. If Japan starts making Gundams, I will take notice. Well, they give them a chance. Surely Israel will assist us in naval situations. They're at liberty to assist. I see what you did there. Yes, the Three Gorges Dam looking awfully submissive and bombable today. Yes, that is always the kill switch for China. If you can kill the Three Gorges Dam, you basically kill 500 million Chinese people minimum. You also wipe out Shanghai, Wuhan, and multiple major towns, and to cripple the Chinese military control system, including some of their nuclear capabilities. I don't know if all of them, but some of them. I'm uncultured. Yes, I don't know it. The famous Miyazaki movie. I only know about the one like Retardo or whatever. The big Pikachu thing that's like the whole time. The big gray Pikachu thing that flies around. That's one of the Miyazaki movies, right? I think. I don't know. Mononoke. What are your thoughts on the NASCAR case? I need to take a look at that a little bit more. But NASCAR sucks. NASCAR deserves everything happening to it. They deserve it. NASCAR is a skin-walking husk of what it used to be. It's been that way. NASCAR has been destroyed for decades now. I'm not covering any fun stuff like Russell Greer or Ethan Ralph tonight, are you? Nope. Sorry. Yes, Quadrillons and the Marshalls. Yes. They did new test. Who are you talking about doing new test? I thought you meant like new testing in the South China Sea. I'm like, well, no, they wouldn't do that there. 500 million Chinamen, yes. Let's see here. I'm trying to keep up. Yes. Yes, my neighbor Retardo. I'm gonna upset all the anime nerds now. Totoro, is that the name of it? My neighbor. Okay, that's what it's called. Totoro. I'm sorry. My neighbor Toto blesses the rains down in Africa. Yes. Can Ahmad tell me I'm retarded? Yes, I understand I'm a retard. Message me and tell me what I'm doing wrong then. Please, tell me. Sean say anime sucks. Cope and Sneed. Oh. Don't show Sean. Shikanoko. No Kanoko. Koshi Tantan. I don't know. Is that like some like? Is that like Japanese chicks like doing Cleveland Steamers or something? I don't want to know. NASCAR died when Dale hit the wall. I mean, NASCAR died when they got rid of the Winston Cup. Really, if you want to know the truth about it, but yes, more or less. Whistling Diesel tomorrow, yes, Mega Bobass, yes, we're gonna go through that. He had a big victory on the gag order he was facing. Get me my model bench shelf as Jenkum collection. Oh. The meme is a weeb, confirmed. Don't do it, Sean. Well, I know. He lives in Japan. Have you heard of the anime of Ryudeal of Healer? Yes, I've heard of it. But that's all I know about it. Am I taking pronunciation lessons from Sarah Boone? Yes. Oh no. Oh no, chat. But yeah, I don't know any anime. I'm sorry. So like I know that Totoro or Retorto thing. Like I said, I just know it because I've seen the clips of the big Pikachu thing that flies around and the girl like sleeps on top of it and stuff. That's all I know. Stay away from Redo of Healer. It claimed Jim, don't let it take you. Sean's neighbor, retardo. Well, and then Akira, yeah, it's yeah, and then there's the one where the guys are wearing like they look at the right wing death squads and they all have MG42s and they have like red eyes. I know that's an anime, but I've only seen clips, so I don't. That's all I know. Sean's like he knows Bible Black. I've heard of Bible Black. I've never watched Bible Black. Do you know the Pokemon Tarkus? No. And if you did that, who's that Pokemon for him? I would not recognize him. Who's that Pokemon? It's Charmander. Jinro, the Wolf Brigade. Okay, yeah, that's it. Thank you, Keopathic. So yeah, and I've seen the meme where the guys are cosplaying it, and it's like right wing death squads. I'm like, based. Yes, Tortellini Torta. Somebody tell me about Berserk. I've heard of Berserk, and it's got the big books. I'm like, yeah. Stormhammer says it's Mononoke. Okay. Have you ever watched the anime King of the Hill? Yes. Yes. It's Pikachu! Damn it! Sean's secret is I own all the Girls und Panzer anime. Okay, I have seen that because it's on YouTube. I have watched some of that. And it's kind of amusing that like they get to shoot at each other, but they don't die. And then I guess like this tank went off, like the tanks can flip over and go in the water and they don't drown. But yes, the tanks get to shoot at each other. It's kind of funny. I'll stick with Akira Kurosawa. Yes. Yes. Damn it, Bobby. Damn it, Bobby. Berserker is a great comic written by Keanu Reeves. Really? Keith Blankenship. Who's Keith Blankenship? What? Is that some anime person? I don't know. Watch Blue Gender. That I don't know if I want to watch that. Vinyl Revolution is that boy ain't right. Yes. Damn it, Bobby. All right, chat. I think we're all done here, though. We're gonna wrap this up. We gotta land. Oh, I thought it would keep Blankenship's MXC. I thought it was Kenny Blankenship. I think it was Keith. I thought that was Kenny. Tactical Fumbles actually tried to torta mainly because of Ralph being made fun of it. Was not a bad sandwich. I've had a torta before. Tortas are good. So, chat is full of weebs. Who'd have thunk it? I know. And Clyde content. Yes, that's what we need. Yes. I sell cocaine and cocaine accessories. Yes. Yes, Guy Ledouche. Yes. And Vic Romano. Yes. So, all right, chat. Well, we're going to leave it here. We got to land the plane. That is it for tonight. Tomorrow night, guys, if you guys are new, we do the Thursday night show. Got a lot of interesting stuff to talk about. Some guys in Britain, you know, he got 6 months suspended prison sentence because of some mean tweets he did. And a guy who got caught with child porn in that same court got 6 months suspended sentence. You're like, wait, what? We got some other stuff we're going to cover. Bonnie Blue, the professional hoe, is possibly going to go to jail forever in Indonesia for filming. There's a jurors on a case had a podcast that led to their trial they were on getting overturned. So we got some stuff to talk about. We got some to talk about tomorrow night at 9:30 Eastern. Hope to see you guys there. So, yes, Thursday is always sponsored by Stoney's Bar and Grill, chat. That's right. Stoney's Bar and Grill at 158 East Broadway Street in Rockville, Minnesota, chat. Stoney's is your place to go, guys. Home of the $2.50 cans. And, you know, it's not bike season anymore, chat. I know you really can't go for bike season anymore to Stoney's, but you got the Vikings games. This weekend coming up, they are going to be doing toys for kids. $20 at the door. If you bring a toy, it's $10. And that's going to be December 13th, starting at 4 p.m. So, guys, keep that in mind. That's going to be Saturday. And if you're not sure what's going on, guys, always come down, drink some drink some beer and cheer on the Vikings down there. So, let's see here. What about Sauer's going against the Whitmer case appeal? Well, he takes a position of the DOJ. You should be more upset. Pam Bondi is going against the Whitmer appeal. D. John Sauer just argues the positions he's given. So, come pet Bonbon at Stoney's as well, yes. All right, chat. So we're going to end here. I will see you guys tomorrow. And just remember until next time, chat, just because you did it does not mean you're guilty, especially if you're seizing questionable ships out on the open seas. Sometimes they could just engage in piracy. It's like, I've seized 500 ships. They just let you do it. Thank you, guys. Thank you for everything tonight. And you guys take care. And good night, chat. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Good night.
Weapons, blacksmithing, and models of planes, esoteric works, and even some trains. Much merriment had while drinking White Claws, tips on hunting, and even talking the law. Whatever you do, just don't talk to cops, even when they nab you on illegal stops, just cause you did it.
From SB Sellers for $2. N.
It doesn't mean you're guilty, but please talk to a local attorney. Was that the fat guy that Kaden yelled at?
EDW Raptor for $2 says I.
Why, yes, it was. He even knows he's fat. For all this fun and more, there's one place to go. Here on Sean Martin's Potentially Criminal Show.
Florence Dono's been a member of 21 months. Thank you for the support. He says G. But also, Katie for $1.99 says G. Johan for $2 says G. The Amateur Iconoclast for $2 says E.